I recently decided to rewatch all the Harry Potter movies and decided to make my cat a Gryffindor sweater. I found a great tutorial by Unj Bhatia, and I'll link them in the description below. I had to make a few modifications because my cat is on the smaller side. He's only about 6 months, and I needed to add the color change so he could represent the colors of the Gryffindor house. To start, we're going to chain 13, beginning with a slip knot. Then we're going to single crochet into every chain, beginning with the second chain from the hook. We should have 12 single crochet for round 1. For round 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn the work, and then knit single crochets through the back loops of all 12 stitches. So skipping that chain 1, we're going to go into the first stitch through the back loop and single crochet, and we're going to repeat that to the end of the round. Chain 1, turn the work for row 3, and repeat that pattern. Single crochet through the back loop of all 12 stitches. And we're going to repeat this pattern until we crochet 36 rows. So now after finishing row 36, I'm going to join the two ends together with a row of slip stitches. So I'm going to chain 1 and then go through the back loop, that first stitch, and join it with the initial cast on. And pull through. And I'm going to repeat that process going through the back loop. Then I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to pick up 36 single crochet along the rim. So now as we come to the end of the row, picking up stitches number 35 and 36, I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, but I'm not going to pull up my yellow yarn. This is where I'm going to join in my second color. And I'm going to pull through both the working yarn and the tail until the tail pops out. Pull the loop shut. Then I'm going to chain 2 and work 9 double crochet. Now into that ninth stitch, I'm going to add an increase, and I'm going to repeat that 2 more times, adding an increase at the top and at the side, and then double crochets in each stitch to the end. So knitting, crocheting 9 with an increase at the end. Number 9, and then adding a double crochet in that 9th stitch. One more time. Increase. And then putting 1 double crochet in the last 9 stitches. Number 9, and then joining with that first double crochet with a slip stitch. And because I'm not changing colors, I'll stick with the red yarn. So what we've just done is, because we had 36 stitches total, we can divide that into 9, so we can get the left side, the right side, and the center back. We're going to have increases on both sides and the top, but none at the beginning of the round. So we did 9, added the 10th, did 9, added a 10th, 9, a 10th, and then just finished with the last 9. We're going to repeat that same process, knitting a fourth of the way with an increase, another fourth, adding an increase at the top, one more at the side, and then no increase at the beginning. Chain 2, and I'm going to add my increase into the first post of the double crochet increase from the previous round. And I'm going to do that for the next 2 increases. Right there again is the increase from the previous round. I'm going to put the increase into the first stitch. And here we are again. I'm going to add that last increase right there. And then 1 single double crochet in each of the next stitches. And I will be changing colors every 2 rows. So I'm going to slip stitch into the first double crochet and pull up my yellow yarn. And chain 2. So I'm going to work 3 double crochet. And then I'm going to chain 14. From here, I'm going to join in, but I'm going to skip 7 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to add a double crochet into this 8th double crochet. For the armhole. So even though I skipped 7, I added 14 up here. Now I'm going to add 21 more double crochet for a total of 22 across the back. And now I'm going to chain 14 again. And adding a double crochet after skipping 7 stitches. into this 8th one and putting in the last 2 double crochet. Slip stitch into the first double crochet, keeping the same color. And essentially just made the armholes and the centerpiece. For this next round, we're going to chain 2. And we're going to work 1 double crochet in each of these 3, and then 14 in this open space for the arm, and then adding in 1 double crochet across the 22 on the back, and doing the same thing on the other side. $14, and now 22 double crochet. $22, and now 14 more in this second armhole. $14, and now 1 double crochet in each of the last 3 stitches. Slip stitch into the first with your second color, and chain 2. So that ends the complicated portion of this pattern. There are no more increases or decreases or adding or chaining extra stitches. I'm just going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch around for 12 more rows. So I'm actually going to stop after 10 rows instead of 12, because 12 would have ended me on a yellow section, which means I would have had to do the brim in red, and I want it to be in yellow to match the collar. So this is the end of the 10th row that I added. I'm going to slip stitch into my second color, or my other color, and start work on the trim. So After I slip through, I'm going to chain 6. Turning the work, I'm going to put 5 single crochet starting in the second chain from the hook. And now I'm going to slip stitch, not into this stitch that we're working in, but to the next 2 stitches. I'm going to slip 1 and then 2. Then I'm going to turn the work and put 5 single crochet across here through the back loop, similar to the collar section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chaining 1, turning the work, and crocheting into the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now again, I'm going to slip the next 2 stitches. So skipping, not here, I'm going to go into these next 2. 1 and 2. Turning the work, repeating that same pattern, going through the back loops of those 5 single crochet. And you're just going to repeat that process all the way around the edge of the sweater. Now using a tapestry needle, you're going to use the long tail that you left to sew the 2 edges together. And I like to go through the back loops just so there's a little bit of a ridge there and it's a little less noticeable. This part will be on the bottom side of the sweater, so it's not super important. It's just a small detail. Then I'm going to push the yarn to the back, and I'll join it with the end of the other color, tie it together so it's a little bit more secure. Now you're just going to sew in the rest of your tails. I like to tie the first color join that I did, just for a little extra security. Yeah. Go ahead and sew in your tails and you'll be done. Here's Luigi with his new vest. And he seems to tolerate it.